In May of 1996, we saw the release of an OVA anime of the Tmnt. It was a 2-episode original video anime titled, and I've heard it a couple different ways, more commonly Mutant Turtles, Superman Legend, or I've also heard it as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Legend of the Super Mutant. I believe it was a tie into some action figures that had come out around that time, and there also seemed to be a similar type of story in a Ninja Turtles manga around the same time frame. Now, some of you may have already heard of this, but some of you may be wondering, what the hell is this? And don't worry, in this video, we're gonna go ahead, break it down, and go over some of the more notable elements of the first episode. Mind you, there was only 2 episodes. Now, as far as I know, it was not released in English, but the series was fan subbed at one point, and this is the version we're going to talk about. If you haven't seen or heard of this before, you're in for a treat. This is a very familiar face of the Turtles that gets turned on its head and goes off the rails, and is pretty great in a weird way, but also bad. Very, very bad. So as we always do, grab a slice, settle in, and get ready because we're about to dive into the sewer and discuss the TMNT anime Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Superman Legend. Now, the first episode was called The Great Crisis of the Super Turtles, The Saint Appears, and this is the one we're going to focus on in this video. Each episode, in my opinion, deserves its own video as there's quite a bit to unpack in each one. Now, the Turtles look, at least at first, how they did in the 1987 Ninja Turtles cartoon, the one we're all used to. I believe the voices for the Japanese dub of the show we're all used to did the voices for this anime. So for the fans over there in Japan, they were seeing the Turtles sound the way they had gotten used to them sounding at the time. So in a weird way, at least for the Japanese version of the 1987 cartoon, this appears to be in continuity, at the minimum very loosely connected, it would seem. Now, I have to say though, before we go any further, I'm digging the way the Turtles look when they're in their normal form at the beginning of the episode. I feel like it looks better than a lot of the 1987 cartoon episodes. Only thing I can remember looking better is the opening sequence to the 87 cartoon. The Turtles look phenomenal in that, which funny enough was done by the guys behind Dragon Ball and stuff. But the episodes themselves in the 1987 cartoon, I don't feel like ever really looked as good as this anime looks. This anime looks pretty great when the Turtles are in their normal form. So this episode starts off with a recap of sorts, events that happened before the episode began, which by the way all seems to be made up for this movie. It never happened in any previous episodes of the show or anything like that. The Turtles apparently went to the Neutrino Kingdom. On Turtlepedia, it says the Neutrino Kingdom is a monarchy state existing in the Neutrino's home planet in Dimension X. It appears in the 1996 Japanese original video animes. In a temple beneath it is the Mutastone, and we'll get to the Mutastones in a minute. The Turtles were unexpectedly summoned by the Spirit of Light named Chris Mew, which I've looked all over the corners of the internet on a previous version of her to see if one existed, and I could not find it. This appears to be her first and only appearance in any on-screen format. At one point she appears to live in the sewers with the Turtles and stuff, and it's kind of weird, like she just appears out of nowhere, like Poochie in that Itchy and Scratchy episode.
Look, Scratchy, it's our new friend, Poochie!
Anyway, she looks like a fairy. She gives each of the Turtles a stone called the Mutastones, which the Turtles can use to activate Super Mutation, an upgraded form where they can fight for 3 minutes. And this is where the designs of the Turtles goes into all sorts of levels of bizarre. They sort of look like green humans with like Wolverine style masks, but the masks are the normal Ninja Turtles colors that we're all used to. They have this T emblem on their chest, kind of like a Superman style, but obviously T for turtle. They also have shells on their shoulders, and it's just all so strange. Splinter doesn't seem to have a transformation in the anime, but I have seen toys from the tie-in toy line for this movie, and there is a version of Splinter that has some sort of mutation. This is definitely not the way Splinter normally looks, so there definitely was some thought, or at least an idea, to have Splinter have a super mutation as well. It just doesn't seem to have ever made it to the anime, but it was definitely out there rattling around in someone's mind that was behind all this. This toy line had a pretty great commercial at the time, by the way.
Super Turtles! ミュート先で新たな力を手に入れ たタートルズがスーパーボディにミューテーションしまったぜ。あうかっちゃいい。スーパータートルズの登場だ。必殺の武器が正義を守る。行くぜスーパータートル。スーパーデビルシュレッダー登場。
Now, the villains, Krang, Shredder, Bebop, and Rocksteady, have also obtained stones, which are called Dark Mutastones. And real quick, the designs of these villains before they use their Dark Mutastones, for the most part, are super similar to the 87 cartoon. There's Krang, Bebop, Rocksteady, but what the hell is that? Shredder looks so different. What a weird change. It's not even subtle at all. I don't remember 87 Shredder looking like this whatsoever, unless I missed something. Back to the Mutastones. As you guessed, this transforms the villains as well into this, which when it comes to Bebop and Rocksteady, I like it. It looks good. In my opinion, looks better than the Turtles transformation. Weird that Rocksteady turns green though. It kind of throws me off because he kind of looks too close in color to the Turtles. Would have been cooler if they would have left him his original color. But Shredder turns into a damn dragon or something. Now when it comes to Krang, he doesn't seem to have a transformation in the anime, but at least when it comes to the fan subbed version I found, some of his dialogue is interesting. Now, as I was watching this, I started to notice that a lot of this is like Super Sentai or Power Rangers. The Turtles have a transformation, but when they're losing the fight, they combine powers.
Let our powers combine.
And all merge into one being, Saint Mutation or Turtle Saint. This weird thing with wings. But if you look closely, you can see all the Turtles' colors appear in the design. The face mask is Leo, the arms have Donnie's colors, and in the legs you can see Michelangelo's and Raph's colors. He has a sword too, by the way. Now, all of this is in the recap. I haven't really talked about the episode yet. This is all explained like in under 2 minutes in the beginning of the episode, and it feels like a crash course. The episode finally starts and we get the intro song. Yeah, okay, so there's the good fairy, the one I was telling you about, named Kreese Mew. She's the good one, but inside a stone that Krang and Shredder have a hold of, there's an evil fairy named Dark Mew. Krang's trying to awaken her so he can destroy the Earth. And so Shredder and the bad guys arrive on Earth and the Turtles meet up with them to fight. I'm not sure why the Shredder goes down to Earth instead of just waiting for the Dark Fairy to awaken. I think he's trying to distract the Turtles, but the Turtles didn't know where he originally was, or at least it didn't seem like they did, so it doesn't really make very much sense. But this kicks off the first fight, and they all go into their super mutation forms and go at it. Both the good guys and the bad guys have special attacks. Meanwhile, Splinter knows it's a distraction. He kind of catches on to what Shredder's doing, and him and Kreese Mew, the good fairy, go to Krang, and Krang's alone, by the way. The Foot are on vacation or something, so Splinter should have an easy time, but it's too late, and the evil fairy starts waking up. You see the earth start shaking, major structures in different countries start falling over. You even see a small cameo from the Punk Frogs. Now, as things are going down, New York ends up getting hit with like a major tidal wave, and the whole city goes underwater. You never see people in the city though, it's very odd. April is around recording the events from a helicopter and stuff, and you see a couple more people, like some working like at NASA or something like that. But one would have to imagine a tidal wave like that hitting a city like that would have killed a whole lot of people.
It's a tidal wave coming from the east. It's gigantic.
During the fight with the Turtles and Shredder, the Turtles can be seen wielding weapons, and I don't know what they're called. They don't really focus on them. You only see them at a glance, but they kind of remind me of like the weapons like the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers used. So the Dark Fairy, or Dark Mew, awakens, and one of the wildest things that happens in this anime is when she transforms the Shredder into, get this, Dark Devil Shredder. He's giant, and honestly, if it wasn't supposed to be the Shredder, which is a bit outrageous, and it was just some other villain, it would have been kind of cool. The design is pretty great, but the fact that this is Shredder is just so over the top, it's kind of ridiculous. Now, the Turtles have a tough go with him for a moment, but Donnie ends up tricking the Shredder into having like a building fall on him or something. And this is where it starts bringing us to the end of the episode. The story ends with Dark Mew going up into space to try to blow up the Earth from there. And this is where the Turtles merge into Saint. Splinter says they can only stay merged for 100 seconds. The Turtles try to fight her as Saint, but they have trouble coordinating how to move their bodies since all 4 of their minds are in there. So although an incredibly powerful form, it appears it can be a bit clumsy at first as the Turtles have to get in sync. Now, while Dark Mew and Saint are fighting, Cry Mew, the good fairy, goes behind Dark Mew and holds her in place and tells Saint to blast them both, and that when this happens that she'll imprison both of them back into their stones. At first the Turtles are conflicted because they'll never see Crease Mew again, but Splinter reassures them that because she's a spirit, that they will see her eventually, which we all know is a damn lie. I don't believe we ever saw her again in any version of the Ninja Turtles. They never saw her again. So it all goes down the way it's supposed to go down, and the Turtles 100 seconds runs out and a spaceship picks them up or something, and you can see them looking out the window, seeing the 2 Mutastones that now contain the 2 fairies, and the stones are just floating away into space. And then it's said that they won't be able to transform anymore as the stones are floating away. So it was just a one and done type thing, and that's how it ends. Overall, this is very over the top, but it looks like it's over the top on purpose. It's definitely a strange moment in the Ninja Turtles history, and a very short-lived one. There was only one other episode, which we'll talk about on the next video, but as for this one, it's interesting. The animation, in my opinion, at some points I like, especially when the Turtles are in their normal forms. It's the designs of their transformations that look strange, too human-like, but that's more me not liking the designs of the super mutation. The way they're actually animated, when they're like moving about and stuff, looks good. It has like that old gritty 90s feeling that I liked when it came to animation back then. But like I said, overall, it's probably something I'll never watch again. It doesn't seem to have that rewatchability element other TMNT content out there has. At least for me. Now, apparently this had a soundtrack album with 10 tracks, which, believe it or not, is on YouTube. I wonder how rare an original physical copy of those are to come by. It was released by Columbia Records on March 20th, 1996, in Japan only. But that's it. That pretty much does it for this video on part 1 of the TMNT anime. Let me know down below. What do you think? Did you hear about this as a kid? Do you own any merchandise from this line, or did you? Had you ever heard of this before? Let me know down below, but that's it for this one. If you're stumbling across this channel and just want more TMNT related content in your life, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That's all we talk about here. Old, new, upcoming Ninja Turtle stuff. Or if you know someone who's a Turtles fan, let them know about the channel. Also, if you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and hit thumbs up as it helps the visibility of the channel. But that's it for this one, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time when we talk about part 2 of the TMNT anime. Take care, everyone.
Ninja vanish.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to follow me on all the social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. It's a good way to stay in touch with the channel. And also head on over to www.theoldturtleden.com. It's pretty new. We plan on adding more stuff to it in the near future, but yeah, go check it out. Helps keep the lights on here in the Turtle Den. And once again, thanks for watching.